We've covered the most common UML diagrams. We've seen class diagrams, use case diagrams, conceptual object model diagrams, and sequence diagrams. And while I'm not going to cover all 14 in this course, here's a couple more that you may come across. First is the state machine diagram, also known as a state chart. I have a very simple example here. This time we would switch our focus to just a single object, and not detailing its attributes and its behaviors, but just the way that it changes state over its lifetime. State machine diagrams contain rectangles with rounded corners. These are the different states that the object can live in, and we can detail the transition between one to the other and what causes it. These are useful when you have objects that exist in very different states, very different configurations during the lifetime of the application, and want to show exactly how they get from one state to another. Now, if you come from a procedural language background, you'll be used to flowcharts. Well, activity diagrams are the closest things to classic flowcharts in UML, and they detail the steps, the transitions, and the decisions that can occur as you flow through part of a system. It's a slightly different view than, say, a sequence diagram. You can also add partitions, what are often referred to as swim lanes, to an activity diagram. What these can represent is either the different classes or even the different business units that take care of different parts of the activity. Some of these later diagrams, like deployment diagrams and package diagrams, can be very useful but are quite specific to the language and the environment you're developing in. So the first 4 are the most common diagrams you'll see and use. Now, if you're interested in more details on UML, I'll cover some additional resources at the end of the course. It's always about selecting the right diagram for the right need, and this should be driven from a business problem. You shouldn't be asking the question, where can I write some sequence diagrams, but simply realizing that one would come in useful when thinking about or discussing a situation that isn't clear.